Good evening, Iowa City, Greater Iowa City community. We are on tonight with your favorite TV show, Education Exchange, and we have a wonderful, wonderful guest tonight. We are hosting Northwest Junior High, one of the very important pillars of our education system in Iowa City, in Coralville, and North Liberty, and in the whole greater Iowa City area. It's my pleasure and privilege to introduce you to our audience tonight. And we have one of the great leaders of education with us, Lucas Potacek, the associate principal. Is it associate or assistant?
You know, it's different in every building. When I took the job description said associate principal. Some things say assistant principal. Either way, it's the same job.
And we are so delighted with your leadership, because although you are new to the district, yet we can see the fruit and results of your great efforts and dedication and devotion to the mission of the district. And to your right side is?
We have Leah Desteroff and we have Michael Mugnelli, who are two outstanding 8th graders at Northwest, getting ready to move on in a few months, but the remaining time that we have with them, we're going to take advantage of them.
Before we get to the real stars of our show, we go to you first, and you tell us, you are an Iowa boy, right?
I am.
So what's the story?
Oh, born and raised in Iowa. I actually grew up, for the most part, in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where I went all the way through high school, and I also went to Coe College in Cedar Rapids, so I didn't go too far from home once I graduated. I graduated from Coe College with a political science degree, so I strayed away from political science, and I got my educational endorsement 7 through 12 in American history and U.S. government, which I then taught 6th grade social studies at Roosevelt Middle School in Cedar Rapids. Cedar Rapids is a little bit different. They have a middle school setup, 6th through 8th grade, where Iowa City we have junior highs. So I taught 6th grade social studies for 5 years there. I then moved to Harding Middle School, which is just on the other side of Cedar Rapids. Much bigger building. I went from about 500 students to just over 900. Still 6th through 8th grade, where I was a facilitator, where I did a lot of the roles of an assistant principal, dealt with a lot of student discipline issues, did a lot of contacting between students, teachers, and the home life. And I was there for 2 years until I saw a posting for an Iowa City job last winter. It'll be a year on Wednesday when I interviewed for the job at Iowa City. I remember being Ash Wednesday when I interviewed for the job, and I did not want to move too far away from home. My family's all in Cedar Rapids, so I felt it important to stay close to my family, and to be part and to be considered for a job in Iowa City was an extreme honor to me, not having, a principal job. And when I saw the job open up, and Dr. Schultz was gracious enough to offer the job to me.
Dr. Schultz is the principal?
Dr. Schultz is the principal, yep. And I actually got a call while I was at a basketball game in Cedar Falls. He called and asked me to dinner with him and his wife. He kind of leaned to the fact that we want to have you for the job, but I went out to dinner with him and his wife because, in this job, when we work so closely together, we spend a lot of time.
Right.
So he felt it important that I get to know him and his wife because, I probably see him some days.
She's a great educator herself.
Amy's wonderful. Yeah. Amy's wonderful. She does a great job at her job in 2 positions at the U and also at Iowa City West, but sometimes I see Dr. Schultz more than she does, and he offered me the job, and I'm, every day is a new day, new things, and your agenda. You don't get to a lot of things on certain days.
Yeah, kids talk a lot about your enthusiasm and your energy, and
well, I love the middle school age. I've always dealt with students right around the 13 to 14-year-old range. And, it takes a special person to do it.
It does.
When you're out in the community and you ask people, what do you do, where do you work at, you say a junior high, and they say, bless your heart, or how can you do that? But, I think the same thing as an elementary teacher or a high school teacher. Each part and each job and each level has its own little interesting parts to it, but I love the junior high age because they're so moldable at that time, and you got to realize they're going to make mistakes, and you're going to see things that you don't expect, and you're going to see some things like, how can you do that? But it's a learning process each and every day.
So do you remember your junior high years too? Yourself?
I remember my junior high years, I do, and I look back on pictures, and
And they were in Iowa City here, right?
I went to Taft Middle School in Cedar Rapids.
Oh, so in the area,
yep,
right?
in the area.
Well, what's so intriguing about this part of the world is the fact that although we are inside the United States, in the middle, and you don't feel that we are exposed like in the east side or west side to cultures from either Europe or the east. But it's amazing. We had a friend here who was an eminent leader. Probably parents remember the late Paul Engel. And Paul was the founder of the Writers' Workshop in the University of Iowa. And he was born and raised in Cedar Rapids. And when I first saw him, I found that he is knowledgeable about the whole world. He speaks about like 12 languages. Among them is Chinese. And I said that was my least expectation, to find somebody from Cedar Rapids so exposed. And he said, you'll be amazed. In this area, this little corridor, we are so cosmopolitan. And that's really what proved to be right for me after living here for more than 30 years. I don't consider people here like local. They are isolated. They are so exposed to cultures from all over the world in an amazing way. Let us start with you, Mike.
Okay.
Tell us about yourself.
My name is Michael Mugnelli. I've been in the district ever since kindergarten at Weber Elementary. Now I'm an 8th grader at Northwest Junior High. I participate in student council, and I'm a student in leadership. I enjoy Northwest.
Why did you run for this position?
It was something I did in elementary school, and I really enjoyed. And I felt like I could do that in Northwest as well. And I felt like I had something to offer. So I did run, and I was fortunate enough to win.
And Leah, tell us about your experience.
Well, I'm student body president at Northwest, and I absolutely love it. I like working with everyone at school and the teachers and everyone. It's really fun.
So how are you going to graduate now? You lose presidency. That's...
Yeah, it's coming up here soon. But
unless you become a president in West High, that would be... Would you consider that?
I was thinking about it.
Oh.
I don't know.
I like that. Determination, huh?
Yep.
You won't give it up, right?
No.
So tell me about the role of female students in Students' Council. That's important.
Yeah, most of our student council members are actually female.
Oh.
But there is a guy from every team from Northwest in every grade, so we kind of all just intermix and we have fun, get work done. So, yeah, it's fun.
Give me some idea about the work that you're doing there.
In student council, we supplied hot chocolate at one of the dances, and we planned the ski trip that's going to be at the end of this month, and we will plan a Adventureland trip at the end of the year. And we had a lock-in last Friday for just the student council members. It was a lot of fun. And we just help around the school. And we're starting a happiness project right now that one of our teachers came to us and asked if we would help her with it. And we're just going to try to spread a lot of like cheer and kindness through the school. So, yeah.
Well, that's nice to know about this kind of role. And Lucas,
Yeah.
now Yeah.
And you'd be amazed that they have meetings every Wednesday morning at 7:45, and you're there on time. Otherwise, I think next meeting you're responsible to bring donuts. I think is their role. I've gone to a couple meetings, so they've asked me to be part of their meetings, and I've also gone to them for help. And Mr. Carlson does a wonderful job with the group. He took over the group when Mr. Ramey, I believe, left, who was outstanding in his involvement, but Mr. Carlson picked right up, and they have their agenda is jam-packed as far as things that they want to do for the school and also for the community. That was one of the big things that I kind of stressed when I was going through the interview process was the sense of community that I heard Iowa City had in their schools. And just an example of that is we got in the mail after the Sandy Hook the Sandy Hook accident, or the tragic incident at Sandy Hook. We had something come to us in the mail from the New Pioneer Co-op, and it had the names of the students and the staff members that were killed in that building. And they had a Pay It Forward campaign where they gave to us a $24 gift certificate to the co-op, as well as providing us with bagels, cookies, fresh fruit from their co-op to provide for our staff members. And the idea is to give that then and to pay the same thing forward to another organization that we feel would benefit from that. And I went to after doing some thinking with our office staff members, thinking of who we could then go forward with our gift to them. And I think it was a no-brainer as we tossed out some ideas, which, given our proximity, we're lucky to have the rec center, the Coralville Rec Center, right across from us. And they house a lot of our students before and after school. I mean, I'm amazed when I go over there, just the amount of students that go over there and utilize their facilities. And I thought it was a no-brainer that, the student council, they came up with the idea of giving back $240. They make some profit from our dances, and they do a lot of good things with that money, and they gave a check for $240, which the rec center is going to use as they see fit their programs throughout the year and throughout the summer. And it didn't take much persuasion to get them on board with that. They actually took a vote, and I think they voted that day that they were in favor of that idea. So that's just an example of the types of activities. I mean, they're most well known for the dances and getting ready for the dances, but there's a lot of things they do behind the scenes that benefit the entire student body.
And Northwest has always been a leader in this community in many activities such as theater and music and drama. And you have been so active, definitely. And it has always been a question in my mind, did you benefit at all by the fact that you are neighbors with the Coralville Arts Center, or there is no connection?
I think as far as having a facility that can house a number of parents, I think Michael can speak as far as just the type of...
So why don't you jump in and tell us about it?
The Coralville New Performing Arts Center, it hosts a lot of our concerts that our bands, orchestras, and choirs do. It's been so gracious to us. They've supported us throughout the whole process, and we're very lucky to have them so close to us.
So that was, kind of a dream to have something like this so close to the school, It's just one block or something, you can walk there.
Yeah, it's a state-of-the-art facility.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to some junior high auditoriums, I mean, this is wonderful.
Do you play music?
I do. I play the viola in the school orchestra, and I also play piano outside of school.
Did you prepare something?
We have a short.
With our
we have a short clip. We had a 7th and 8th grade orchestra concert a couple weeks ago, I believe, and Dr. Schultz we're at almost all the concerts, and he records them on camera, and then we put them on the YouTube channel through Northwest Junior High, and I believe we have a short clip of the 8th grade orchestra from that concert, at least their first song from that concert.
Oh, yeah. I see Mr. John Karoff, our producer, director, godfather, everything. I think he's there, and are we going to show that? Okay. Great, that's very impressive.
Yeah, and I'd be embarrassed if I didn't announce their director, Miss Stephanie Dotzel, is the conductor for the orchestra, and they do a wonderful job. And we try to showcase our fine arts as much as possible. Earlier this year at our 40th anniversary celebration, where we tried to invite as many community and former staff members and former parents and former students to that celebration as much as possible. And our band performed there as well.
It's a great effort. Now, tell me about the future.
Well, I would like to go to college and pursue whatever I choose to pursue, and I think my leadership skills that I learned in leadership class and student council will help me in whatever I choose to do.
So be more specific.
Okay.
Which direction?
I'm not sure. I love to write. That's always been one of my passions. I would love to pursue something in that, for sure.
And you are in Iowa. That's the one of the. You're familiar with the
Right.
Writers' Workshop
Yes.
here. This is #1 in the world.
Right.
And we are here, the city of literature too,
Yeah.
and the international city of literature. And that's very important. So it will be competition, definitely, but that's what probably makes it more challenging and more. You prove your ability and your talent and your gift, right?
Yes.
How about you, Leah?
I would like to go to college and maybe pursue a teaching career, or I'd like to be a graphic designer too also. And I think my leadership skills will show through that, and I'd really like to work with like kids, maybe junior high level or high school, so yeah.
And you are going to pursue the same footsteps of Lucas here.
Yeah,
You're going
I'll probably stay around Iowa, Midwest area, so.
to be devoted and dedicated to Iowa City,
Yep.
which we need really. We need a lot of, because we had a lot of brain drain, and a lot of people get taught here and leave, and it's always so exciting when you have somebody graduated here, raised here, and stays here, serves here, and believes in Iowa. That's very significant. Tell me about the future of Northwest Junior High next year, and this whole conversation and dialogue that's going on now. We have the diversity policy, and we have plans, and we have planned for one community, as our superintendent likes to call it. One city, one plan, one district.
It's for the stresses that come with a job. It's easy to come to work every day when we have students like this, and Leah and Michael are just a couple examples of the tremendous amount of students. We have just over 620, and there's all sorts of students that roam the halls that are just like the two of them. That for a junior high student, they're putting in a lot of time in and out of the classroom to make their school and to make themselves better people. As far as with the district, we had an important election last Tuesday, and for everything that led up to it, it's nice that it's been decided and then it's done, that we can move forward from now. There was so much debate, and I'm kind of new to the Iowa City community. I'm born and raised in Cedar Rapids, and they might as well have been hours apart for as little as you kind of know about the districts outside of just some pretty basic things. But for all the stuff that we had, and the disagreements that we had moving forward with diversity policy and with the RPS vote, it's nice that we can put those behind us.
Right.
Exactly, we can put those behind us, and I think there's going to be some interesting things coming up here this year as far as once we get some of our studies back from our buildings to see how we can renovate buildings and where we can put some new buildings. I think it's going to be an exciting time for our district to see exactly how our district's going to look. And there's no saying what would have happened if the vote didn't pass, and it's nice that we can now move forward immediately with those plans. Obviously, our district, and I came from a district that was losing students, and we had to close 2 buildings the last year I was there. And you know, that's a tough position to be in, because you're having to reallocate people and you're having to reallocate resources, and it's never a good thing to do when you're losing students. But Iowa City's in a nice position where we're gaining 200 to 300 students every year, and you know, to build a new building, that's a good problem to have. And you know, it's going to be interesting to see, but we all hopefully can all move together in that direction, as you mentioned.
Well, that has actually been my experience too in this particular city. We get into this arguments and dialogues and meetings and town hall meetings, and people get enthusiastic and supportive and pros and cons and all that, but eventually we come up with a plan and we move on. And the community here has a tremendous ability to unite,
Yeah.
and come up with a plan for the future.
Yeah.
And that's why we have a very unique education system in this city.
Exactly. People are very passionate about their schools and very passionate about their children's education, which, you know, from my perspective, I'm happy to see that there's so much passion for and parental involvement in their child's education.
And I heard that you, I know that we have few moments, but I heard that you have achieved a lot of success in your assessment test, the last one. You were among the top in the nation and all that.
You know,
that's
exactly. I mean, consistently, Northwest performs at a high amount, pretty high rate when we look at our standardized tests. And you know, you can only put so much into that one test that students take a year, but it does give a good depiction of what our students are able to achieve, and also what our teachers. And we have a great staff as far as how they're able to help students in the classroom, and those success rates are, you know, twofold. You can thank the teachers, but also the students. You know, they're put through 4 long days of testing, 4 or 5 days long days of testing, and in order to achieve those high rates, they had to concentrate and do their personal and individual best.
You know that this particular show will be on public access TV on Monday, 2:30, Monday at 7 o'clock, right? And Saturday at 2:30. It will be on Channel 21, the education channel, pretty much every other day, sometimes every day after the board meeting. And we are on YouTube. Don't forget that, to tell your friends. Tomorrow probably Mr. Mike Peterson is going to send it to YouTube, so you can follow that, your friends. So it's a delight to have you. This is a very honorable time to meet your leaders here. And I think we have a couple of minutes for conclusion. If you have anything you want to say, why don't you look at the camera there? Here's Alex, the cameraman, and the floor director, waiting for you.
I just wanted to say that any 6th grader, even considering running for student council or student congress, you know, it was great for me, and I think it'll be great for you too. So you should definitely run if you're interested.
And you get to meet a lot of new people, and you get to get involved in Northwest and get involved in much stuff as you can next year, because you will meet so many new people, and yeah, it'll be fun. So.
And we just finished our elementary school visits. Ms. Sadler, Mr. Adams, and Dr. Schultz went to all the elementary schools, and one thing that we stress to students is find something to get yourself involved and get yourself connected to the school, and that's what we try to do each and every single day, is find some connection with that students. And Hani, I appreciate everything you do for our district, and your staff have been wonderful, and a special thanks to our 2 students taking their night.
Well, as a matter of fact, it's a good while the music plays. I think we have to give our thanks to the parents who are with us tonight. This is wonderful to have audience of your caliber. And to thank Mr. John Karhoff and Mr. Mike Peterson and Ms.